we are here for to question and to petition the government of New Zealand. Government of Samoa, under the leadership of the Prime Minister and Cabinet, fully endorses and supports this initiative. It reflects our collective Pacific values of family, community, and mutual respect, values that unite us as one blue Pacific. We also reaffirm the enduring significance of the Treaty of Friendship that was signed between New Zealand and Samoa in 1962 when Samoa became independent from New Zealand. This foundational agreement commits us to close cooperation, mutual assistance, and enduring goodwill. It is true spirit for equitable and accessible travel arrangements would deepen our bonds, strengthen people-to-people connections, and honor the special relationship that has sustained our partnership for over 6 decades. Whakataita lava once again to Rupa Matasila, Awhanai, to all members of Pacifica Justice, to every advocate who has stood united, and to the New Zealand Parliament and Deputy Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Winston Peters, for receiving this petition today. And we look forward to constructive dialogue and meaningful outcomes that truly embody Pacific justice, friendship, and unity, and as one blue Pacific following this petition today and this gathering today. So I finally finished with, I think that's a bit that. No, I've already said about the support of the Samoan government. As I said, Prime Minister, Alauli Alvaliatoa, as a great supporter, and he has given me strict instructions to come here and speak here and to let our Pacific people here know about the stance that the Samoan government has taken on this subject. So I thank you all very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Highness. I now would like to invite our Tongan speaker, Reverend Hiweni Nuku, is a chairperson of the Wellington Tongan Leaders Council. So please come forward, Reverend Hiweni, to address the event today. Give him a big hand.
Winston Peters, Honourable Cheney Salesa. Tama tau whakawhonga whanea ko tō pē. Tamo anai, aka anai. the Mui Community Pacific Justice. Samoa Kyong Luaman Mao, Dame Winnie Laban. The Bangan Hong of the Bay, the Tucky, the Wahenga, from a New York dollar. Kabge Petagau and Fay Taulotu, Reverend Elder. Malaki, Waiava, Wigau Petagau Godobe. Kautakilot, Kabgau from Fonga Purean, without Elmont Pacific. Kabge Tak Godobe. Mai tau whanau e talavou mai whinaboi. Te au sia e tau whanau ka koe taha e tau wharunganga. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Malo e lau mari e, malo e lele. Warm Pacific greeting to you all. I mention my name is Reverend Hugh Nogum, the chairperson of Wellington Tongan Leaders Council, and ordained ministers of the Methodist Church of New Zealand, a proud son of Tonga. And I stand here today in unity with all Pacific nations. We gather here on the steps to the Parliament, not in anger, but in love. Not in protest, but in relationship. Not to divide, but to remind Aotearoa of something deeply true. The Pacific is not foreign to New Zealand. The Pacific is family. Why we are here? We are here because of our family. Families have walked long roads. We are here because our Pacific people carry deep cultural and spiritual responsibilities. We are here because of our families need us most. They face barriers. They do not reflect the relationship between Aotearoa and Pacific. New Zealand traveled to Tongan, Samoa, Tuvaluan, Fiji, and across the Pacific without a visa. But our own families, your neighbors, your workers, your church members, your loved ones face delay, cost, uncertainty, and heartbreak. This is not reciprocity. This is not fairness. This is how family treats family. Our connections runs deep. We stood together through the COVID-19 pandemic. We stood together through cyclones and crises. We stand together every day in churches, schools, workplaces, and homes across this country. Our Pacific community contributes to Aotearoa in ways seen and unseen. In essential services, in caregiving, in constructions and trade, in leadership, arts, culture, and sport. In the workforce that keep this country moving. Our elders build foundations. Our youth carry the future. Our people have always stood shoulder to shoulder with Aotearoa. But when our families need to stand shoulder to shoulder with us. A closed door meets them. The humane impact of visa barriers. This is not about paperwork. This is about people. This is about grandmother who cannot attend the birth of her grandchild. This is about the father who cannot come for a funeral. This is about the auntie who cannot comfort a sickness. It is about a young person, those great milestones goes unseen by their own family. These moments, these sacred moments, define who we are as Pacific people. They hold cultural, emotional, and spiritual meaning. They shape identity. They strengthen family. They carry our battle forward. When barriers stop us from fulfilling them, we hurt as a people. We acknowledge the steps taken recently. We acknowledge the government for its efforts. We acknowledge Right Honourable Vavasamanaya Winston Peter for receiving this petition today. But these steps, while appreciated, do not complete the work. More than 60 countries, as we heard, have visa-free access to New Zealand. The Pacific, Aotearoa closest neighbours and deepest partners, is not included. Today, we ask that on behalf of Tonga, on behalf of our Pacific nations, on behalf of our leaders, our faith community, and our families, we ask, include Pacific nations in the visa waiver program. Allow Pacific people a 3-month visa on arrival, just as New Zealanders receive in our islands. Honour our Aotearoa identity as Pacific nations in actions, but not in words only. These are not demands. These are respectful requests. Requests grounded in love, reciprocity, and relationship. I want to finish up this opportunity on behalf of our Tongans. To everyone gathered here today, to our elders, our youth, and our churches, and our leaders, mahalo pito for standing strong today. Let our voice be united. Let our message be clear. Let our dignity shine. Let our hope rise higher than the step we stand on. Aotearoa, honor your Pacific people. Aotearoa, open the door. Aotearoa, it is time. Maroa Pito, may God bless us all. May God bless our Pacific nations. May God bless Aotearoa, New Zealand. Never maranga, kakarawa. May I ask for those, if you may stand, to stand. We want to sing. This is one of the Tongan hymns. Oh, I was informed it's going to be played, and everyone can sing. It is the hymn that our people sing at Matamatonga, and Ikalitahi, and the Tana Netball team. The hymn 114, please, Eki got offer out. This is about the love of God.
Malo Pito, Iweni, well said, and also acknowledge your work with the Tongan community. Now I'd like to invite our Fijian speaker, Mr. Sai Lelea. Sai Lelea has been a long-standing member of the Fijian community and Pacific community. He's the chair of National Civic Media Trust. Welcome, Sai.
Mr. Ambulonaka. A very warm Pacific greetings. Tamadong anda mau kita bakana okay ni soso na may tutinong tangan tasenwa. Kita baki keda na buwal ba Pasifika. Di parawan naman tagal Singapore. Kemudian na anda may bitin na may tigulan na tagal Singapore. Kinabali mo na bitoko ni. Inakit na may tigukina. Yan na Singapore. Kemudian keda na linbun bitin ito ya kero ni Silandi. Navale una no mani dolati ko na ibuwa ni Wingarabi. Yan ako noon ni Sanding ya mani may tiko kinaya tero ni Silandi. Today I stand on behalf of our Fijian community in Aotearoa and as part of a Pacifica collective voice made up of families, elders, workers, church leaders, students and communities who have come together with a simple, humble, and reasonable request that we ask New Zealand to extend to a group of Pacific peoples the dignity of a short-term visitor visa or arrival, allowing families to reconnect, cultures to breathe, and relationships long grounded in shared history to be honored. But before I continue, I wish to acknowledge and thank the Right Honorable Winston Peters, Minister of Foreign Affairs, for formally receiving this petition. Indeed, let me also again acknowledge the leader of this petition, Anai Adanai, for the work and the leadership he has provided in bringing this together. May I also acknowledge members of Parliament who are here, of Pacifica Heritage, Dame Roman Vau, Winnie Laban. From the Greens, I believe John Tuvaluan is here. Kanaka John. Their presence matters. Why? Because of where we are congregating and how we've gone about coming here. Because it signals respect for democratic expression and recognition that Pacific voices deserve to be heard at the highest level of the House of Parliament behind us.
So please can we put our hands together again for those that I've mentioned, for the great work that they've done, and of course for the local organizers from Wellington, Civic Justice Team in Wellington. Now let us be clear, the petition is not about open borders. It is not about undermining New Zealand's immigration laws or settlement. What it is about fairness, it's about proportionality, and of course, it's about humanity. Civic people have stood with New Zealand in war and peace. We have and continue to labor in the factories, in the farms through the RSA recently, and of course, other similar labor schemes. Hospitals, churches, schools, and of course, sports clubs all over the country and communities. Our remittances sustained our families across the region. Therefore, our loyalty to Aotearoa New Zealand cannot be questioned. Yet today, civic families face one of the most restrictive and costly visa barriers. Even as we recall instances that our previous speakers have referred to, special moments, cultural events, church conferences, and once-in-a-lifetime family events. That reality causes real harm. Parents not being able to share in the achievement of their children. Grandparents never meeting their grandchildren before they're called to be part of history. Families fragmented by paperwork rather than policy that makes sense. Other comparable nations, around about 60 nations in the world, have short-stay visa arrival systems with safeguards. New Zealand can do the same, carefully, responsibly, and compassionately. So why can't New Zealand do that? Now this is why this petition, led by other nine, matters. It matters because it is measured, because it is reasonable, and it reflects lived Pacifica experiences, not abstract policy rhetoric. To members of Parliament who are here today, listening today does not force you into a decision. But ignoring this call would deepen a sense of exclusion felt widely amongst Pacific communities in Aotearoa today. New Zealand prides itself on being a Pacific nation. This is yet another moment to live up to their identity, not in rhetoric, but in action. Therefore, I ask you, because it's MPs who are going to be considering this petition, ask you to consider this petition seriously, to engage openly, and to work with Pacific communities towards an outcome that strengthens families, that strengthens our regional ties, and most importantly, it strengthens and promotes social cohesion.
That's right.
Aloha people, and well done to our Pacific people in Aotearoa.
Minaka Kakalevu Sai, very strong leader for the Fijian community. I now would like to call onto the podium our representative from Tuvalu, Reverend Ale Talava, all the way from Auckland, travelled with the Auckland Committee to be part of this event. Welcome, Reverend Ale.
Ia whakataro whātu. I te maru ngawhia, I te tāo nei. Good morning and warm Pacific greetings to each and every one of us who are here today. I am honoured I'm honoured to be standing here today in my capacity as a representative of all the Tuvalu communities here in New Zealand, and as the chairperson for the Advocacy against Tuvalu in New Zealand, to formally acknowledge Te Whionga Anai, Rupe Matasila, Lima Anai, and all the committee members of the Pacific Justice, and to speak on behalf of the government of Tuvalu and my people Tuvalu today. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today about an issue that goes to the heart of who we are as a nation. Our identity, our regional responsibilities, and our long-term strategic interests. I am here to present the case for granting visa-free entry to citizens of Pacific Island countries. For generations, our Aotearoa New Zealand has been woven into the fabric of the Pacific. Our histories, our families, our economies, and our futures are deeply interconnected. The Pacific is not just our neighborhood. It is our whānau. And in time of increasing geopolitical competition, climate pressures, and economic uncertainty, strengthening those ties is not just morally right. It is strategically essential. Visa-free access is a practical, it's a symbolic and forward-looking step. First step into strengthening regional relationships. Removing visa barriers signals trust, respect, and partnership. It demonstrates that we see Pacific nations not as the distant stakeholders, but as an equal partner in a shared region. This policy would reinforce our leadership role and deepen diplomatic goodwill at a time when Pacific nations are being courted by a range of external actors. Step 2, a step to supporting economic growth, both theirs and ours. Visa-free travel would encourage tourism in both directions, support seasonal labor mobility, reduce administrative burdens on our immigration system, enable smoother business, cultural and educational exchanges. Pacific nations and communities contribute significantly to the New Zealand's workforce, culture, and economy. Making travel easier strengthens those contributions and supports regional prosperity. Thirdly, a step to a human-centered policy for a human-centered region. Many Pacific families are spread across multiple islands and across New Zealand. Visa-free access would reduce the emotional and financial strain of visiting family for funerals, weddings, cultural events, and urgent needs. It aligns with our values of Manaakitanga and Whanauatanga, values that guide how we treat those closest to us. And the first step, a step in enhancing New Zealand's strategic position. The Pacific is becoming an increasingly contested space. By lowering barriers and deepening people-to-people connections, we reinforce New Zealand as the natural partner of choice. This policy strengthens our influence, supports regional stability, and aligns to our long-term foreign policy objectives. Last but not the least, a step to a manageable and measured policy change. We can implement visa-free access with clear eligibility criteria, strong border security screening, monitoring mechanisms to ensure compliance, a phased rollout if needed. Our nations, including Australia with certain Pacific pathways, have already moved in this direction. New Zealand risks falling behind if we do not act. Colleagues and people of the Pacific today, it is a moment to reaffirm our commitment to the Pacific. A moment to show that our words, our partnership, respect, and shared destiny are backed by meaningful action. Granting visa-free access is not simply an immigration decision. It is a statement about who we are as a nation and how we choose to shape our future in the region we call home. I urge Cabinet to support this proposal and take a decisive step towards a stronger, more connected, and more resilient Pacific family. Thank you very much.
Advocacy, Reverend Ali, well said once again. Respectfully, we are actually cutting into our time. So I now would like to call on Reverend Martin Mariota. He's been a long-standing youth advocate here in Wellington, especially in Pororua. He's now residing in Auckland as a church minister for Mangere Advocacy. Welcome back to Wellington.
Ia o leo mai o na sao noa whawhenua e na whionga ia pau. Au le whapinga fo e se anganga ia te a. Ia ai, e le umi fo e so whamatalanga o ke alo whatu o vela whala o vela fo e le la. Ia ai, e le moto pāo o tō sila fia. Ia o lo ngō Martin Mariota o o whiwhi au le e whakasa mangere sifo. My name is Reverend Martin Mariota. I am originally from Wellington, from a beautiful city called Porirua, which a lot of people call the heart of Wellington. But I'm now a church minister in Auckland, in a beautiful city called Mangere, which a lot of people call the heart of Auckland. Even though I'm surrounded by all these Blues supporters, I'm very brave because I still carry my Hurricanes jersey everywhere I go. I carry it in my heart, I don't wear it on the outside. To all the Pacific and non-Pacific people that are here today to support the petition, you are all brave. Turn to the person next to you and say, you are brave. Don't forget it. You are brave because it is not easy to stand up and do what is right. But yet, you are here today. I also want to acknowledge Anai Lupi Matasila. Afa, can we give him a big hand, please? He is also very brave. I have seen him and I've witnessed him. He has faced many challenges and struggles to fight for what is right. But what is he fighting for? What are we fighting for? As a church minister, I have done many funeral services for elderly Samoan men and women. And these elderly Samoan men and women, they were brave. They were brave because they survived racism, they survived the dawn raids, they worked hard labor jobs for the future of their children and their families. They sacrificed a lot to serve this country. And it breaks my heart every time I do the funeral service and a lot of their families, their brothers, their sisters, and sometimes their sons and their daughters cannot even come to say goodbye to them for their funeral. Is that how we honor our brave? Is that how we honor those who have sacrificed so much for our country? Is that how we sacrifice? Is that how we honor those? No. We honor them by being brave today and standing up for what is right. Finally, I would like to acknowledge Honourable Minister Baubasa Maanea Winston Peters. Thank you so much for being brave to take our petition. And we pray that God will give you the courage to fight anybody that gets in your way. E te lai e sui o na soko, e mō tau e pupo ngā e le laurangi, ai o tau rotu te tele, a waho o manu mā lō I le laurangi. O le mene, I lawe le whengu I le tātou whangu koe, ai e tātou rotu te tele, ave tātou mau, e tātou rotu te tele, e whaile mea sao, whaile a mi o tonu, a wao le whina ngaru leo le atua peo na sao no le sunga toi ina le neitai au. Finally, I want to say, evil and injustice will always prevail when good men and good women do nothing. You could have chosen to stay home today, but you came. You could have chosen not to sign the petition, but you signed it. Why? Because you were brave. E tātou loto te telepea, o a ro whātasi mai e te tātou whakoe. O wea kaku.
Okay, Martin. Now the time has arrived. And unfortunately that we are unable to continue with the other speakers. However, we will do so after the presentation. We've also got a performance line up. So I'd now like to call on Whiunga Anai to come forward. How are we going to work this? Dame Ruan Vau, if I can have the women, please. You've asked for this. So if I can have the women up here. So how we're going to process this is Anai is going to read out the petition. And then he's going to walk towards Honourable Baubasa Maanea Winston Peters and present to him, and then we're going to ask Baubasa Maanea to speak and respond to the petition.
To our Pacific family, today we are greatly honoured as Baubasa Maanea, the Right Honourable Winston Peters, the most experienced and respected politician in the New Zealand Parliament today, the man that will be leading this country and soon will. Our only voice and friend in the government is receiving our petition. I remind you all that it was David Seymour of the ACT Party, Winston Peters of New Zealand First, that went against their coalition partners that stood along the side the Samoan people's determination for the 1982 Privy Council decision to be delivered. 42 years we waited for justice, and successive governments led by National Labour ignored us. Today he will receive our petition that calls for New Zealand immigration to respect the peoples of the Pacific by treating us with respect, dignity, equality, as they do 3.2 billion people from other countries around the world. He has listened to the voice of Samoa's Prime Minister, Laulu Malia Tuvaluan and Fiji's Prime Minister Sitiveni Rabuka, supporting the Pacific Justice petition. He got the mandate he waited for and has publicly stated the treatment of Pacific families has to be given serious consideration. Winston, the Pacific people pray that God will guide you through the evil that surrounds you, that don't want to treat the Pacific people with fairness and equality. I'll read you the petition. I, and I after an I, petition the New Zealand Government on behalf of Pacific Justice Movement, representing the collective voice over 16 million people of the Pacific, We humbly but firmly request that New Zealand immigration treat Pacific peoples with the same respect, dignity and equality afforded to citizens of 61 other nations, representing a combined population of more than 3.2 billion people, who are eligible to travel to New Zealand directly or via Australia and receive a visa-free 3-month business visa on arrival, stamped at the airport. We know that the Minister of Immigration has the authority to address this inequity by directing her ministry to enable visa on arrival access to Pacific nations. Despite repeated requests, this issue has been consistently ignored. We therefore call on the Right Honourable Samoa Winston Peters, Minister of Foreign Affairs, to urgently bring this matter before the House and request that a select committee conduct an urgent inquiry into the unfair and discriminatory treatment of Pacific people under the current immigration settings. We further request that any final parliamentary vote on this issue be a conscience vote of members of Parliament. Sir, I remind the House that as recently as last year, the New Zealand Immigration Office in Samoa was open only for 1 hour per day, 1 hour per day, to serve a population of 200,000 people. Many travelled by ferry from Hawaii to arrive and find the doors closed. This was compounded by the expectation that applicants rely on online systems, despite many Pacific villages lacking reliable internet access, despite many people lacking the digital literacy required to navigate these systems. This was not merely an inconvenience, it was an insult to the dignity and integrity of our people.
Definitely.
It was your intervention last year, sir, that led to the office being open for 8 hours per day. Today, Pacific people have gathered here, and many more wait across the Pacific in the hope that you will once again deliver justice. We do not blame the people of New Zealand. Many have no idea how Pacific people have been treated by the New Zealand immigration for decades. Many believe we're accepted as New Zealanders. Let me remind the Minister of Immigration that it was Pacific people who began arriving in the late 40s, providing labour that fueled New Zealand's rapid industrial growth in factories, infrastructure and development. And we helped build this nation. And when our so-called use-by date expired, police with dogs broke into our homes, humiliated our families, and deported our people. Enough is enough. We, the humble people of the Pacific, demand to be treated with respect, dignity, and equality now. This is an election year, and our votes will go to those who stand alongside us as equals.
Kia ora, tēnā koutou katoa, greetings, and thank you for being here this morning. And thank you for today's petition. The Pacific, you know, is our front yard, and the people of the Pacific are our cousins, for better or for worse. Now, here's the fact, cousins look after each other and respect each other. When it comes to visas, there's an issue in that people from nations outside the Pacific, in some instances, are getting far better treatment than you are. And not in my time. Now, did you hear me? Now, that's no way Cousins, and New Zealand First is committed to getting that sorted out. Because when it comes to working with and helping out the Pacific people, we have believed that our front yard and our future is critically dependent upon the way we handle these issues. And there is a Pacific way, and it makes far more sense than this antiquated bureaucratic botch-up that passes for some of our delivery services today when it comes to immigration in our country. You'll see other political parties always talking about the Pacific, but when it comes to finding the money, the aid and the investment, ask yourself this question. It's in the good book, it's in the Bible. By their deeds you will know them. Some of you are old enough to remember the last time the rest did anything was when Norman Kirk was the Prime Minister. And that was circa 72, 73. After that, a lot of talk, or as they say in the United States, fast on the lip and slow on the hip. You all know it. As much as you like to forgive them, look at their record. When they went out there to battle for you, did they put it on the line to make sure that they were a front yard neighbour to you? And you cannot say that of the party that I lead. In the 3 times we've had this job, we have dramatically stepped up our responsibilities to the Pacific, and we don't ask you to believe because we've asked you to believe the budgetary. Remember, when cousins help each other, they respect that hospitality. We want a change in our immigration service so they understand the Pacific way of dealing with this matter. We're cousins, and we respect each other wherever we are. It won't be easy. We'll work very hard to achieve the best we can with respect to the petition and the responsibilities you seek from it. It's important that access to New Zealand is not abused, and that the terms and conditions of that access are honoured. Do you remember, it's 9 years ago, and we started the seasonal working policy in the Pacific. And in the case of Samoa, we said, you organise the workforce, and we'll trust your organisation. But it's your village by village responsibility, and you send them here, and they'll be in the shoes, we'll be in the shoes of you, the parents. We'll look after them. But it goes both ways. And I honestly believe we can get a system going that's far, far more responsive to people's needs. When someone is dying, you haven't got days and weeks. You've got hours to make your plans. And we should be facilitating that. And for heaven's sake, it's difficult for us sitting here, many of us members of Parliament, scratching our head and thinking, how did it get this bad for so long?
That's right. That's right.
But as much as we will accept and care for the well people that are coming to our country, we need them to behave and to honour the terms of their presence here. Cousins respect cousins. So thank you again for coming here. We're honoured to accept this petition. And we'll ensure as much as we can that we get the equivalence, the fairness, and the promise for the Pacific people, our front yard, that they richly deserve. Thank you very much. All right.
Let's now have our taualunga with Honourable Vavasamanaya Winston Peters and Anai Rukamasiva Afanai. And there's a lot of Ayuli here with the lady. And if you're a media, come to this side. We can only do interviews with Winston this side. If you're a media.
Well, that's the deal. Let's go.
Yeah.
Someone's got to hold it with you.
So much for Philip, Aveluma, Lalo. Come on, find me. Come on, yeah.
I thought this is a disgrace. How can they possibly get service? So sad as a day, but this we went back to. But the fact is, these things happen when we don't pay enough attention to what is a fair go in our international relationships.
How confident are you that this can be done this term and you can get Action National on board?
Well, we'll do our best, but you know, we've only got 8 months to the election. So it's going to happen very fast.
Have you discussed this with your coalition partners?
No, but I got to get petition first, haven't I? First things first. I just got it, and I haven't had 5 seconds to talk to anyone. Right?
Some of the speakers were highly critical of the Immigration Minister, Erica Stanford. So
No. Look, I support and sympathise with Erica. Her ministry is the worst in this country, and I've said it publicly over and over again. I've been on this matter for years. I've found, for example, there were 21,000 overstayers at a time when we were on computerisation. Now, how could they possibly know what's going on when they're on computerisation?
How are they feeling towards this petition? Are they supporting it?
Yeah, they seriously are, but they also want us to pay attention to their population needs. Don't go and rush in here. Make sure we talk to them on the way through so that everybody's happy with the developments. Because they do not want depopulation if we're careless about this matter. You get my point? Samoa is concerned about it. They all are.
should this issue have been fixed up when the New Zealand government was apologising for the dawn raids?
Well, it should have been fixed up. Well, the thing was, if you don't apply the right psychological approach, and we haven't been, if you apply the Pacific Cousins approach, the Pacific Way approach, we'd have solved this a long time ago. But no, we have a bureaucratic mess going on. It doesn't fit a lot of countries, particularly not the Pacific, but it suited other countries who are far less aligned to us than others.
Were you aware of this immigration issue before the petition was brought to your attention?
Yes.
Why is it taking so long for anyone to do anything about it?
As I said, the good idea when I got a petition, got a bit of support for the thing, isn't it? Get a bit of action. That's what it was designed to do. And if you have the numbers, like tens of thousands, then we can be certain that Parliament might listen for a change.
Wellington last year said that visa-free travel for Pacific people isn't a priority for the government. Has that changed?
Well, people say a lot of things, and then they have time to reflect.
Do you believe this position has changed?
People
have
have
you had any conversations to
but
indicate that this
people have to say a lot of things, but all of a sudden, time and time, and dare I say it, the public surgeon poll support or lack of support might just change their mind for them to think in a much more reasonable way.
In terms of logistics, getting this visitor visa set up, is that a change that can be made without legislation? Immigration Department.
It's not your position. Whether you are a church minister, whether you are a Matai,
We didn't come here
at
unprepared.
the end of the day, we are measured on our giving on our
But we also
reciprocity
sympathise with
through our
inheriting a
standing
very
by
difficult
our
task.
people
You've got
when
no
they
idea.
need the support from
If you get the wrong department, you've got a lot of work to do.
of the Tongan.
And either they're going to control
province. Thank you
or
very
you
much,
control them.
Reverend Tueni.
Was she arrested?
Takana eno woke. When we paddle together, we can reach the destination. Thank you.
Well, you know, as I said, and they've said it today. Keep saying you're free. It's very
We
lucky
have
that
come
you
to
are.
the end.
Now, for you,
But
for
it's
your
not the
police
end
here,
of the fight.
you won't understand what I'm saying.
Today,
Some people do.
So that's a Kathleen commitment to the Pacific.
we have stood together.
I want to do my
Samoa,
utmost for. I'm not here
Tonga,
to make
Fiji,
a vain promise.
Tuvalu,
9 years ago, I said
Vanuatu,
season work.
Niue,
It's worked
and the
massively.
Cook Islands.
I wanted to go on that way.
One Pacific family with shared values and shared purpose. Your voices, your stories, and your hope have filled this space with
No, I just told
dignity
today.
and
Your cousin here
strength.
is my cousin, and cousins.
I acknowledge everyone who contributed to
It's a new
today's
psychological
program.
approach we're going to have.
Those who spoke,
Before they leave the
those
country,
who organised behind the scenes,
their elders will be telling them.
those who
You
sang,
fell up, you weren't
prayed,
with us.
offered
We
support,
got the new Pacific Way.
simply showed up. And those who travelled from near and far to be here. Whakatei tere lava, malo
You'll
pito,
find many more
inaka wakalevu,
doing that as well.
whakawhitai
You
lasa.
just stand back and watch.
Thank you to Mark. Whakawalai, meitaka maati.
Well, we just got.
I now like to call on Reverend Antelea Sa'u, Secretary of the Church Ministers Fellowship in Wellington region, to say a final prayer for us
I'm going to make
before we
myself a
depart.
broadcasting.
Let us pray. May your grace be upon us as we depart this place. Mātou wala au me se wha maru mai o au lofa. E mai se lo lava lofa tu noa i lungo lau whanau whātuatua. E mai se lau kerisiano uma, mātou uma o Pasifika o mwhai lau
Ia le nā Samoa o nisina o fuanga ia matulanga o ia le whaatanoa malana whionga minsta. Vai whafo New Zealand nei, ia vavasa mana ia Winston Peters, ia le whaatanoa matustala ia peona maua mai le tātou le tio le tula. Ia o nisina o maenga, o whai ona taratala i ailana whionga le minsta. Ia o le awha pēnā o ngā rua e ai, lana vaenga wha whai ia mai lātou whoi o le awha pēnā o soa i ai i lea matau. Ia matulanga i ai le tui nā atu, lea whoi whanonga tangata Pasifika. Ia pe ona i ai ia saini e silia ma le paso lima afe. Pe ona maua whoi nisi o tātou tanga. Ia manisi whoi o whaasalalanga o tui nā atu. Ia e mai se whoi le lalango ai e le awhionga i le palemia o Samoa. Le awhionga i ala auli a le mali atua le watea polata i Vau Schmidt. O le nei a vaenga fwoi o Pokalami. Ia o whawhanga